here? What have you accomplished, do you think?
Just a couple of breakout drills we had to shore up. Obviously some one-on-one drills, a little bit battle. Just a couple of things that you don't get a chance to do when you have a heavy schedule in February.
Some power play work and the entries as well. Is that key for you guys right now to trying to get the power play turned around?
Yeah, it's speed, more speed, and chasing down loose pucks. We got to learn that when there's a loose puck, let's go get it. I think we're losing. Our retrievals haven't been good, and when you have a good power play, your retrievals are really good. So you got to be in spots for retrievals, and it's work ethic. Everybody's looking for plays. It's not plays. It's work ethic. It's coming up with loose pucks.
Is that partly what you're looking for from Garley in that, like, you've searched for different things on the power play. What is it about him now in that unit that you're looking for?
Well, I thought when I put him out there, they scored a couple of goals. Him going backdoor, he actually does come up. He's very good at coming up with loose pucks. And actually on the second, he's been one of our better entry guys. But that doesn't mean Lindy's not going to go. I could see Lindy being maybe getting back in there again. But we got other guys got to get on that line. That power play got to get going too. So it's just not one or two guys.
How much of Lindholm's struggles, and he says himself, he's got to play a lot better, especially offensively. How much do you think in your conversations that's due just to how he's feeling and his comfort level and his confidence rather than just physically what he's doing on the ice?
Well, I think it's a partnership. I got to try to get him in situations to make him feel comfortable. And also, he wants to elevate his game also. And I think there will be an elevation. I think he's got too smart of a guy. But, pushing the pace a little bit more. He's in great spots, which is great, but there's times where we want to attack where he's got to get going too. So I think it's I don't think he's far off. Last game, a lot of guys weren't that great. But I think he's the type of guy that's a smart guy. He's done it before.
Do you think because he's so conscientious defensively, and I think that's kind of his fallback position if things are going poorly, at least defend well. Do you think he's too much in that mindset at times and not enough thinking about attacking? Or
yeah, I think that's a great question, because I think you got to find that, I keep saying that sweet spot, when to go and when not to. He's a 200-foot guy, so there's some times that maybe he should take off, but he also, that's where you need wingers that forecheck. That's where guys Potsy's learning that to time yourself where you're getting on the forecheck, because if you're playing that 200-foot game and your wingers aren't forechecking, it's a tough night. I mean, you're basically playing defense all night. So I think, we're trying to get situations where he gets some wingers that are going to really forecheck hard for him. Garley's really good at that. When Garland and Dakota were together, they're pretty good tandem on the forecheck. That's why it's always good to have that guy more conscientious. Same thing with Petey. Petey sometimes lags behind, and that's why you need to make sure that your wingers are forechecking for him.
A lot's been made about the week here and practice and rest and everything else, but hockey players are creatures of habit. I mean, you've lived the life.
Sure.
Do you get antsy at all, when there are so many days between games, just to kind of get out of your rhythm a little bit?
No, not really. I think pockets of the year when you get chance to stay at home, see your family, but work at your game, that's really what you got to take advantage of. I went through the schedule with the players today. I showed them the month of March, how many days off they're getting, how many practice days we're getting, how many games we're playing. You should thrive in this environment. This is where I don't know how you could be tired, in games. If you're going to lose a game, it shouldn't be because of fatigue. So I think it's a mindset. We're in I hate to say it, uncharted waters for a lot of guys on this team. It's go time. There's 15 games left. It's get out of third and fourth gear. We got to get the fifth gear. It's not wait till April. It's let's go. That's the message, and I think it starts in practice. Some guys still have to understand. Maybe in the past, March practices don't mean much, but they mean a lot now. So you got to, hate to say it, it's got to go to another level.
Rick, you talked about Lindholm. When a guy comes to a new team, there's a lot of off-ice stuff going on, right? Some guys, does that affect them more than others, that their minds may be a little bit somewhere else?
Well, absolutely. I know his family didn't come out till about 2 weeks ago, so there's a long stretch. He didn't have his family, he has a newborn. So, yeah, some guys are affected by that. and as the organization, you try to help them out. Hopefully, guys are taking them out to dinner. You're spending a lot of time with the guys until his family comes back. So yeah, some guys deal with better than others.
Rick, what do you want to see in the game tomorrow that will let you know that your team's taking advantage of these 2 days of practice?
Business-like, forecheck, play fast, come up with loose pucks. Whether we're up 3 down or down, whatever, to stay in the system. For whatever reason, when we get a lead, our numbers go. We're not good. Our turnover rate goes high. We don't force the puck. Now it's either guys or I don't know. I mean I don't even want to say why. I hope it's not for guys' individual success. When you're up 3-0, you should not back off. You want to be aggressive but smart, and I think that's when you put the other team. They have to push, so you can catch a team on a 2-on-1. If they or you catch them on a bad pinch. That's what I think that this next level for this team.
You kind of alluded to that, but when you get 2 early goals like you did in that last game, is there this subconscious mindset that maybe this is going to be an easy night? Because it happens not just to you guys, but lots of teams and lots of sports.
Can't have it. You can't have it. Like, just because you're up 2 or 3-0 doesn't mean the second 4. I'm not going to go in because I don't know why I don't want to go in. You got to go in. You have to participate in everything we do. And if it's comfortable, then you better change your mindset, because the next month is not going to be comfortable. When the games are, especially in late April, they're very uncomfortable. So you might as well do it now. The mindset, start now, today.
I think when people looked at the schedule and the 9-game homestand, and it was Winnipeg and Colorado, and sort of like those are the big challenges, and then maybe it drops off. Now you get Washington and Buffalo. I know you're only focused on Washington, but I mean the definition of desperate teams that are bumping up against the playoff bar, and probably last night in Seattle. I don't know if you watched their game, but
watch it. Yeah.
Like, for 20 years it's always been about Ovi. I know he's still there, but it seems like now they're much more about locking it down, and they don't give up an awful lot.
No, they clog up the middle, and then you got Buffalo next. Another desperate. They're one of the hottest teams. They're desperate too. We're playing desperate teams. I don't know if teams like that are out of it, they're playing their young guys, and we were there last year. We were winning games. We were beating some half decent teams, even though we're out of it, because the guys are trying to prove themselves. So there's no easy games. So that's the mindset you have to have.
Last couple of days of practice, how do you feel about the group's ability to bounce back tomorrow?
Yeah, good high pace today. I think you saw we didn't start off great, but kind of got better as the practice went on. It sounds like I'm talking about a game, but they are important, especially this time of year, especially being on a homestand. We need to value each practice. Because this is a big time for us, and just to get better. So, but we'll respond. We didn't obviously love our game against Colorado, and we got a team that's right there in the playoff race in the East, and we know they're going to be desperate, but we should be as well.
A lot of work on the power play and on entries today as well. What's the challenge right now in terms of gaining the zone, and what do you guys need to do better in that regard?
Well, the first power play we didn't have our full unit out there, so it was a little discombobulation there, just to understand where everybody has to go. But the third period we didn't like it. We didn't get in. I think when we get in, we're a pretty good unit. We move it around. We have a couple looks that we really like. But yeah, just getting in, and me and Pete have been working at it and talking about it. So we feel confident in our abilities as a group. It's just we'd like to see everyone go in tomorrow and then get going.
What do you see as your sort of primary role on that first unit?
Well, yeah, it's obviously still a learning process for me, trying to get better, each day at it. I was on the first unit previous to my time coming here, and I really haven't been on it for my time here. And second unit, doesn't really go much. So you got to get your reps, and you got to get up to speed with what they want. I think I add a good element to it with my entries. I can get in, pretty well, and some deception and quick puck movement. But obviously, it's going to run through Millsy, and my job. I don't want to go too much into it and give the other team a free pre-scout, but I mean, I know what my element is, and getting pucks back and being just, I'm a different player than Brock, and it's nice to have a different type of righty on the unit.
We didn't get a chance to talk to you yesterday. I don't want to go too deep, but spirited practice and obviously a little tussle with Hronek. Was that just out of that drill itself? Or
yeah, that's what that drill's basically made for. I think my helmet came off, so it probably looked worse than what it was, but it's nothing. I mean, it's when usually after losses, a lot of teams have that drill, and it's a high level compete, and it's good for us to have that. We got to play like that, and when we're at our best, we go through people and we hit guys, and You can look down our stat sheet. A lot of guys have a high number of hits when we're at our best. So it's good to have those type of days.
And is that just part of like Conor Garland, play hard, practice hard, like sort of always?
Oh, of course. I'm not the most talented guy. I'm undersized, and I got some philosophy, right? So you got to play hard. You got to compete. When you're a type of player like me, and I think everybody does. You look at Hoggy, he's an undersized guy, competes. Huggy, everybody kind of plays the same way when you're undersized, so you try to get into guys and be a hard guy to play against. Like I said, that's important for us to have as a group.
What have you made of Pods since he's come back and how he's been?
He's been really good. Yeah, he's so fast. The first couple games was almost tough to read on the forecheck because he can almost do F1 and F2's job. So we've gotten more comfortable these last few games on reading off each other, making some plays in the O-zone. Actually, our first 2 shifts against Colorado, we had a lot of possession. We just missed a few passes. I think we missed like 3 or 4 that could have turned into grade A. So I feel pretty good about our line right now and its potential. Going into tomorrow's game as well.
How important is that partnership and understanding between the first 2 forecheckers and obviously you and Dakota had that playing together? Is that something you got to continue to work on and develop with Vasily?
Yeah, it's massive. Obviously, playing with Dakota. You could play with your brain shut off for 50 games, and I think I struggled maybe a little bit when he went down just because then you're thinking a little more, you're not moving your feet as much. So I think we've gotten back to that, of having that attack on the forecheck and just reading off each other, and especially when you come up with the puck, where to go with it. And that's something Dak's really good at. He holds the puck for a second and then makes the right play. And Podsy's been doing that the last few games, which is starting to break teams, D down. And we've added Lindy too, which is a shot threat from a one-timer side, where when it was Teddy, it was 2 lefties, and now you got Lindy where it's righty-lefty, which is a lot easier for me coming out of corners.
Was it encouraging to see Dak in uniform, even if it was for?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen him pretty much every day. So it's good to see him. He's such a massive piece. There's really not another forward that's like him. On our team, he brings a special element, He's also a gifted goal scorer, so I'm excited to get him back and see what he can do down the stretch and, hopefully in the playoffs.